All right, we are back with SSSP Square State Sandlot podcast. Uh, Today we're going to be talking a little bit NBA, what's going on with the summer league and this and that. NFL division champions who we kind of predict, and then MVP and that kind of stuff. A little Raider talk, a little Packer talk. But Kyrie Irving and Harden extensions is one I want to get started on, and that is big news, I think, because I've heard a lot about Kyrie Irving possibly being traded, and Ben Simmons' name comes up a lot with what I'm hearing now with the Nets, because uh, they want Ben Simmons' defense with Harden and Durant's offense. They think that it's going to be a potent team for many championships, but I don't know. I think a lot of health is the basic necessity, and just what we've seen in this last year, that's not going real well for them. So
Yeah.
I don't know if Kyrie for Ben Simmons is a great pick, or Kyrie, like signing Kyrie to an extended contract. The organization wasn't very happy with him this year because I don't know what he did. He had a lot of personal issues going on. Uh, does that still make him more valuable than not having him? I don't know. Personally, I'm not a big Kyrie fan, so I wouldn't mind making that trade.
Yeah.
But Ben Simmons is not the guy that I'm going to make that trade for.
Yeah, I think, like you said, that would make a lot of sense in terms of having his defense and then the other two score enough to offset the loss of Kyrie. But as you also said, injuries have been a problem for that team, so you don't really want to count on them being out there every game if you're giving up scoring. And like the Warriors showed with Steph going out, they basically didn't have anyone else that could score reliably. So it's not a good situation to just have one or two scores that you can rely on and then ship off the rest, even if they do provide a bump on defense. So I don't know. I think I've seen every possible team acquiring Ben Simmons because I think
Yeah.
the Sixers are just desperate to get rid of him. I don't think that's a situation that's going to mend just over the off season. So I think they would pretty much give him away for any reasonable trade at this point, but I don't think there's a lot of takers right now on him. So
Well, yeah. If you were one of these NBA teams and you actually wanted Ben Simmons, aren't you going to wait until like the very last moment till they're absolutely desperate?
yeah, that makes the most sense. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense like buying early when the stakes are the
Oh,
highest when you
yeah. The
could.
price tags,
But
a
also, I mean,
Bentley price tag for a Honda Civic.
if you want to bring him in, you also want him to go through camp and all that stuff with you guys. So it makes sense to get him
Mm-hmm.
early too. So there's probably a balance between striking that deal at the right time. So I think it's going to happen. I just don't know when. Because as long as Doc Rivers is there, I don't think Ben is going to be happy there. Because he
Right.
basically said, I don't believe in Ben being able to win a championship.
Yeah. And for Doc Rivers, like on his side of things, I kind of agree with him. I don't know. After what I saw, he's not worth the 4 first round picks that Philadelphia is asking.
Yeah. I'd be shocked if they get more than one. I mean, he's obviously a great talent, but he's
Yeah.
also not a good shooter, and that's not a good thing to be in the NBA.
Right now.
Obviously, Wiggins isn't the best shooter, but I feel like he has more offensive firepower than him, and that's probably the best comparison for Ben Simmons because they have very similar playing styles. Although I think Wiggins is probably a lot more athletic.
Yeah.
So I don't
I
know.
think Simmons is taller,
Yeah. But look at
a
those
little
hops on
bigger.
Wiggins. Dude
Yeah.
could jump out of a gym, and he's fast.
Well, yeah, that's like I'm extremely happy with Wiggins' defensive prowess. Like I don't know. I think the only reason people are so high on Simmons is because he can guard 1 to 5.
Yeah. I think
So
Wiggins can guard 1 to 4,
yeah,
so he's very versatile as well. And then if they're going small ball team, he can guard anyone. But
right.
yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see that core, especially. We'll get into the G League stuff going on a little bit later,
Mm.
but um, some of the additions they made over the draft and over the offseason seem to be looking like they're going to work out just fine for the Warriors. So pumped up about that. And obviously, speaking about the Warriors, we still haven't had a chance to discuss that Steph signed a 4-year extension with them, and it brings his annual average um, payday to like 52 million a year or something like that. So it's an insane dollar amount, and he became the
Goodness.
first player to sign two $200 million plus deals. So congratulations to Steph. Obviously, I think he's very deserving, as do you. Um, I just worry. The only thing I worry about with that contract is what else can they do, because they've already kind of looked to start reducing salary so they're not over that luxury tax dollar amount. And when you have Steph, Draymond, Klay, and Wiggins, that eats up most of the contract space you have. So we've talked about that ad nauseum pretty much.
Yeah.
And you didn't get to discuss the addition of Iggy, so I'm interested in your thoughts on them re-signing him.
I mean, I kind of think it's what, you know, your average Warrior fan kind of believes. Like, yeah, it's great. We love to have Iggy back. But he is, what, 2 years older now. He was old when they were good.
Yeah,
We
he's
love to have him on the team, but it is one of those, like, what is he, 30?
37, I think.
I was going to say 36. So, I mean, I believe he's still got a little in the tank, but I don't know what his price tag is either.
He came on for the veteran minimum, so he's not costing him much, which is great. And
Huh.
I think he's going to provide that spark off the bench, even though he's not the player he once was. He's not going to be that six man of the year candidate, but I think he's going to bring that defensive presence, and he's just a real spark plug. So great veteran presence. Like I said, defense off the bench. Um, I think it's just a great signing, especially at that dollar amount. So I think they
Yeah.
still have the trade exception from when they traded him. So I think they can still go over a little bit on the salary cap without having too many consequences. They still haven't used that. So I don't know if they're going to make any moves. I really think they believe in the core that they have together right now. Obviously,
I'm, I'm a big fan.
oh yeah, no, I think all the moves that they made in the draft were just steals, honestly. Um,
Yeah.
and we see that with Kuminga. He's just dominating the summer league. I think that just wrapped up over last weekend, but he looked really good. Had quite a few flashes where on the offensive side of the ball where he was just dunking over dudes twice his size. So
Yeah. Like almost from the free throw line.
yeah,
That one dunk he had was, I mean, it was great. The potential this kid has is just phenomenal.
well, and the thing that I think impressed me the most was his defense. He was matching up. I can't remember who the guy he was going up against, but he was one of the top picks from this last year in the draft, and he was locking him up on defense. So he played really good defense and was scoring quite a bit. So that's very encouraging to have a two-way player as a rookie. So
Yeah, and what I loved, I think what popped for me the most is his attitude
yeah,
because he has a killer attitude.
yep,
He is in it to win it. He is go at him. And for a rookie to have that, it's just a great thing to see because he's not playing shy right now. He is full head of steam. And with the veterans that we have on the team right now, I really believe that they're going to, settle in,
Yeah.
really round him out really, really well.
Well, and I
So
still
I'm
haven't
I'm
heard.
excited about it.
Have you heard any news on how Wiseman's progressing? Is he supposed to be ready to go at the beginning of the season, or do you know?
I haven't heard a lick.
I don't think that injury he had, if I remember right, it was to his knee, and I don't think it was super serious. It was just the time of the year where he got hurt. There wasn't going to be enough time for him to come back. So I
Yeah.
think I remember seeing that he'll be back for the start of the regular season. Definitely hopeful for that. But they also, I don't know that they have the answer at backup point guard just yet. They've still been rumored to be looking. Um, Obviously, you have some news with Nico Mannion, so let's have you share that, and then we'll talk about the backup point guard.
Well, we were talking about the summer league, and I wanted to know how Nico Mannion was doing because I really liked him for the pick. I didn't at like right when I heard about him last year, the second round didn't fly out to me. But when I saw him play little bits here and there, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be good. And instead of actually getting to um, play in the summer league this year, he went over to Italy and signed with Virtuous Bologna. I don't know how to say that. I know I'm just slaughtering it, but yeah. But he's signed overseas. He's going to play overseas for a year. And I think that's a really good fit for him because he's going to get a bunch of playing time, real live games, really competitive. It's going to round out his game a ton, I think.
Yeah.
And I really believe in it a lot more than the G League. So
I'm not sure
I think it's.
what I think about Nico. Like, he definitely has his flashes, and I think he can
Mhm.
score. I just don't know if he's physical enough to play competitive defense. And with Steph, with Steph being a subpar defender, um, I don't know that having a backup guard that can't play defense is a great idea either. Um, Michael Mulder, kind of the same deal. He's a little bit bigger than Steph. Probably plays a little bit better defense, but he's still another one of those scorers. So I know they do have Gary Payton Jr. the second. I don't know. He definitely plays great defense, and he's not exactly a great scorer. So I don't know if they're planning on going with some combination of Gary and Michael Mulder splitting up those backup duties. Um, Moody was their other draft pick, and he definitely seems like he's going to be pretty good too, based on what we saw in the summer league. But I don't know. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on Moody, if you got to see him at all in the games, or if he flashed for you. Oh, I think your mic's out. Oh, maybe you muted.
Yeah, sorry,
There
I
we go.
muted. uh, Saying goodnight to the drunk ass wife.
Oh, that's good. Shout out
Yeah.
to Sean. I saw her going behind your chair. That was beautiful.
Yeah, she's playing with the dogs. But Moses Moody, I haven't got to see a bunch of it. I haven't seen, because I don't have the preseason games up right now, so I haven't watched any actual games of Summer League. It's all just been like highlights on, sports and stuff.
Yeah.
So I really haven't seen a ton from him. I see like some stats here and there, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't even know if he was playing, honestly. I probably watched two summer league games, and that's just because they were on NBA TV, and if they were on, I was going to watch them. But
yeah.
the two games, I don't remember seeing him at all, so I wasn't sure if I just missed him or if he wasn't playing. But regardless, I think I saw a couple highlights from just following the Warriors Twitter account of Moody, and he looked like he was playing pretty good, but I don't remember if that was in college or if that was actual like summer league stuff that they were retweeting. So
Yeah, I think that he's been playing some summer league, and I know he's been doing okay, but I think Kaminga has just been really playing so awesome. He's kind of stealing the show,
yeah.
and Moses is kind of just back there.
All right.
I don't
So
know.
we have more research to do on him, and
Yeah,
obviously they announced the schedule a couple days ago. Um, looks like the Warriors are going to start the season against the Lakers on a
yeah,
Tuesday, October 19th. So that'll be they go Lakers and Clippers back to back. So that'll be interesting test right off the bat to see how they are, because both those teams were pretty competitive last season. So
yeah. The New Look Lakers,
yeah, the
basically.
retirement community.
Yeah, entire rotation deleted and reassembled.
Yeah, I saw. Um, was it Paul Pierce? I think it was Paul Pierce said if the Lakers don't win this year, you can stop talking about LeBron's legacy because it's clear he's not one of the best players in the league. So
He is so salty,
shots fired, but
isn't he?
um,
It's because he gets made fun of constantly now.
yeah. Well, and
Who was it? Jaylen Brown. Just have you seen that clip where Jaylen Brown just burns him for like 10 minutes?
no, I'll have
That's
to look
good.
that
Go
up.
look it up.
But speaking of old basketball players, um, Isaiah Thomas is reportedly trying to make a comeback. Who do you think he'll get on with the team, or?
I do. I think he'll get on with someone. Yeah, it's not exactly sure who it is. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers pick him up.
Just
But
because?
yeah, I don't know. I've heard some things, but it's what is that like trending? This is like breaking news. They might get. I don't know. He held a workout with like three different teams. I think it was the Lakers, Celtics, and Sixers, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know that
But
his style of basketball really works these days, though. He's like one of those ball dominant point guards that cuts to the basket all the time, and then obviously he shoots off of that as well. But I can't think of very many teams outside of like, well, and even Steph's not that ball dominant. Their whole offense is about ball movement. So like I can't think of a point guard that touches the ball consistently and it works in the league right
yeah,
now. Other than maybe like Russell Westbrook, but he's kind of a super point guard.
yeah, weird hybrid.
Yeah. Like he's bigger and more athletic and more physical than most other point guards in the league. So I don't think that's exactly apple to apple, because Isaiah Thomas is obviously physical and all that, but he's also like 6 foot even.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's 6 foot.
Yeah, he might not be,
I
but
think he's 5'10".
yeah. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens with him, but I don't feel like there's a situation that's a slam dunk for him to hop into,
Well,
even with the Lakers.
that's the kind of like sad thing about Isaiah Thomas in his game, because when he was in uh,
Boston.
Boston, he did have that ball dominant. He was an MVP candidate,
Yeah.
but he touched the ball constantly. After he left, he really never had that.
Yeah.
He was
Well, he was, what
not
was it,
even a second option
knee
most times.
or hip or something? Something that's really tough for a quick guy to come back from. He had that injury, and that's probably why he kind of faded out of the league. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, I haven't seen the workouts or anything like that, but you'd have to think if anyone's going to bring him on, he's got to be moving pretty well because that's his entire game. So,
Yeah, I think he's healed up like a year, 2 years ago by
yeah,
now.
yeah, probably.
And he's been on, in Denver. He's been in DC. Where else has he been?
I don't
A
know that
couple
I've
different
really
places here and
seen
there.
him play, but I mean, I guess I don't watch anyone outside of the Warriors really, so
Yeah, he just doesn't get the minutes. He
interesting.
still scores. He can still score.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't too long. It was probably last year. I think he cooked uh, Marcus Morris, one of the Morris twins,
yeah.
straight to the basket. I mean, he still got it,
Well, we'll
but
see
he
how
just
much
doesn't
he's
get the
got it.
minutes. Yeah,
If anyone brings
I
him up.
think that's the toughest thing for him going right now is getting any time.
Yeah, I'm trying to
But
think. Like, I almost even thought Warriors for a possibility, but I don't know that. Like I said, his play style doesn't really fit. But the Warriors do have a need
exactly.
at backup point guard, so I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with that. Do you have anything else NBA before we take a quick break?
Uh, what was I going to mention?
Oh, I guess one other thing. Klay looks to be at probably
ah,
80%, maybe more. He's doing a lot of the shooting drills and things like that, landing on his ankle and running. So I don't know that he's going to be ready day one for the beginning of the season. But with that being basically 2 weeks or 2 months from today, there's a good chance he'll be ready at the start of the season. So excited for him, happy for him that he's actually getting out there and doing what he loves to do.
well, that's what I was going to mention. Is they've announced that his start date should be Christmas Day.
Okay.
So that's what their target date is, to be
Okay.
Christmas Day for him to make his comeback.
It's a little later than I was hoping for, but I mean,
Uh,
you still got 5 months in the season left after
mm.
after Christmas, so
And coming from a Achilles, that is a 1+ year kind
yeah,
of injury to try and recover from. So,
yeah. Well, and it happened right before the start of the season last year, so that's why I was hoping he'd be ready
mm-hmm.
to go at the start of the season this year. But just having him ready, and it's probably makes sense to get him at 100% because in the meantime they can take a look at an extended look at Kaminga and Moody and getting those rotation pieces set up, and obviously if Wiseman's
Yeah,
ready to go at the beginning of the season, just get that base look in there and establish the offense, and then once Klay's ready, that's just going to be a bonus. So
yeah, I'm very excited for this year to start because I really want to see how these younger players move into a more prominent role.
yeah,
And I mean, I know it kind of sucks to say, but I am glad uh, what's his face left.
yes, Oubre,
Yeah, Oubre, Kelly.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sad that we didn't get anything for him.
That's the worst part. It didn't make sense for him to still be there after the trade deadline last year, and we've talked about that nonstop. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just frustrating to know that he's going to be gone and not trade him and get something for him. And I understand where they were thinking maybe we'll make a push into the playoffs and we'd be stronger with him on the team. But then he got hurt, and it was like, okay, you didn't get anything for him. He didn't help get us into the playoffs, and now he's gone. So anyway,
Yeah, I said it at the beginning of the season, so maybe you should just listen to me, Bob Myers.
yeah. And speaking of Bob Myers, they Draymond and KD both kind of addressed that situation of him not coming back, and basically Draymond and KD both put it on the front office for how it was handled and him not coming back. And obviously they had their little spat where they kind of went at each other's throats, and then it was never the same after that. But the way that they tried to handle it was basically slapping Draymond on the wrist and then pretending it didn't happen after that. So very interesting to get that from the player's perspective, because you're never going to get that from the front office, that they think they
Yeah,
might have botched it or whatever. So
which it kills me. Why can't front offices just be more respectful towards players? It almost feels cutthroat,
yeah, it is.
and I just don't get that.
I think their whole thing is like they don't want to get to know the players, because when they have to trade them or let them go, then it makes it personal, and that's why they try to not establish relationships. But I feel like if they actually took the opportunity to do so, it would go a long way in dealing with those chemistry issues and whatever. But
Yeah.
oh boy, score! Watching the
Are you
Battle of
watching
the Bay Bridge
Battle?
series, A's, Giants.
Your favorite two teams.
No, my favorite one team and my least favorite team.
Nice. Did something good happen?
A's just scored a run to put them ahead, and the series is split right now, one game to one. So whoever wins this game will get the Bay Bridge Trophy and get to keep that for the rest of the year. So
Wow.
hoping
Good for
A's can
them.
pull this off.
How
But
many innings left?
it's the bottom of the sixth, I think. Can't remember if
Okay.
it's sixth or seventh, so it's getting late in the game. Yeah, bottom six. So
Huh?
put up a couple runs here and then close it out. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, get a Bay Trophy.
Yep. Okay. Well, with that, let's go to quick
Let's
break,
take a break.
and then when we
I'm
come back,
tired.
we'll talk about NFL.